I remember that night the way you remember the moment a storm finally breaks. You can feel it coming long before the sky cracks open. It was late, pushing past 10:30, and I'd just staggered home from a 14-hour shift working a pileup on the interstate. The smell of burned rubber and leaking fuel stuck to my jacket, and all I wanted was a shower, a cold beer, and maybe a little quiet in my new house out at Lakeview Estates. Slick streets, sodium lights shining on puddles, the kind of night where you can actually hear your own thoughts. I wasn't moving to Lakeview for the rules, let me tell you that straight. I was there for peace and the view of the water. At least, that's what I thought. But you know how sometimes a place shows you its real face before you even unpack? I rolled up to the row iron gates, the guard shack empty. Residents used key cards after dark, so I eased off the gas and reached for my pass. That's when I spotted the white Lexus, broadside across the entrance, engine purring, headlights cutting through the mist like someone was setting the stage for a drama I hadn't auditioned for. At first, I figured, okay, car trouble, it happens. I tapped my horn, one polite little toot. Nothing. Then the driver's door swings open and this woman steps out. Tall, blonde, raincoat belted up tight. Umbrella still snapped shut at her side, like even the drizzle knew better than to touch her. She stood there, hands on her hips, chin up, staring me down like I'd already broken 3 neighborhood bylaws just by existing. I rolled my window halfway. Evening, ma'am. You need a hand. No reply. Just this look, like she's daring me to cross the line. I tried again. If you move forward just a bit, I can reach the card reader. That's when she moves, back into her Lexus, slams the door, jerks the SUV forward, and bangs the bumper right into the steel brush guard of my truck. The jolt rattled my fillings. I kill the engine, open my door. She's already out, heels clicking on the pavement, voice sharp as glass. You slammed right into me, she snaps, like the facts were an inconvenience. Now, I've handled my share of belligerent types on the job, but off-duty, out of uniform, you learn to let folks dig their own graves. She whips out her phone, holds it up like a trophy. I'm live streaming this to the HOA page, so everyone can see what you did. Porch lights flicked on, curtains twitched, audience assembling. She yells for Derek. Carl, get over here. 2 big guys in wet hoodies shuffle over, flashlights in hand, like henchmen in a bad TV movie. She steps up close, names Veronica Kane, president of the Lakeview Homeowners Association. You're in violation the minute you rolled that rust bucket into our neighborhood, and tonight you rammed my Lexus on camera. There's a kind of funny, desperate energy behind her words, like she's used to getting her way and now she's worried she won't. I just leaned against my open door, letting the rain bead up on my hat, saying nothing. Sometimes that's the best move. She thought my calm was disrespect. Jabbed her finger at my truck. HOA rules are clear. You'll pay for the damage and move that heap off our property before morning. Rain drummed on metal, the 2 muscle guys shifting, waiting for orders. I saw the red light blinking on my body cam, habit from highway patrol. She hadn't clocked it yet. Neighbors, she says to her phone. This is what we've been warning about. Reckless outsiders barreling through our gate. He rammed me, then tried to intimidate me. Her show, her script. The muscle men, Derek and Carl, if memory served, started documenting the damage, snapping photos, writing in a pad that looked about as official as a grocery list. I kept my voice even. No one's hurt. No one's getting towed tonight. Veronica's laugh was a weapon. We'll let the police decide that. Or maybe just the HOA. Lakeview has real rules. She panned her phone across the puddle around her tires, narrating like she was Dateline NBC. More neighbors drifted out, some filming, most just watching with the don't get involved look that says everything about a place. Ma'am, let's exchange insurance and call it in the normal way. I tried. She gave me a little head tilt. There's nothing normal about you. This is Lakeview Estates. We have standards, and we don't tolerate redneck theatrics at the gate. That one stung more than I care to admit. Her body language said it all. Neighbors, please note the belligerent posture. I was just leaning on my door. If that's belligerent, Webster's needs a rewrite. Then she did something I'll never forget, dragged 2 fingernails across her wrist, scratched herself enough to draw blood, and shoved her arm into the camera. He grabbed me, she shrieked. I hadn't moved, but Derek stepped toward me anyway, flashlight angled like a club. Careful, I said. You're being recorded. That gave him pause. Veronica played to the audience. Show the damage. Wrapping her fender for effect, Carl thumped my passenger window and muttered about illegal tint. The circus went on until Veronica closed in, lowering her voice. You're new. I run this place. If you apologize on camera, maybe I'll let you keep your pass. I thought about the crash on the highway, the family waiting at home for news, and realized some fights are bigger than bruised egos. I won't apologize for something I didn't do, I said, quiet but steady. She blinked, recalibrated, then called for the tow and police. I rolled through the gate, headlights tracing quiet streets, knowing I'd just survived round one of whatever game this was. But as I pulled up to my house, every light felt like an eye on my back, neighbors glancing from windows, a Marine vet polishing his Mustang, nobody saying a word. Welcome home, Mark. I thought I was done for the night. Wrong. A note slid under my door, wet with rain. I saw what she did. I recorded it. Be careful. They don't like strangers. Signed CB. Across the street, the glow of a laptop winked out behind Chloe Bennett's blinds. Not everyone was on Veronica's side, it seemed. Next morning, a violation notice on my mailbox. Unapproved vehicle, $250 fine. They'd barely let me move in before the paper war began. Then there was the staged trash in my yard, another HOA post about litter and unsightly vehicles. I installed pinhole cameras in the birdhouse, near the mailbox, quiet eyes for a neighborhood that wanted a show. Chloe's note haunted me. That evening, under a sky still heavy with rain, I found her by the lake. Hood up, phone in hand. She handed over video, her angle on Veronica's staged collision, the wrist scratch, the whole dog and pony show. Send me that footage tonight? I asked. She nodded, whispering, she never stops. Just be careful. But something deeper was brewing here. Late-night deliveries to a vacant house, unmarked boxes, shell companies siphoning HOA funds. My buddy Ben at the state office looked at their maintenance budgets and nearly spit out his coffee. This isn't landscaping, Mark, it's laundering. Turns out Lake View wasn't just about hedges and mailboxes. It was a laundromat for stolen goods, padded invoices, the kind of scam that doesn't just gouge property values, it guts whole communities. Every trick in the book came out. Bogus fines, public shaming, even tampering with my truck. But the more she pressed, the more people started to notice. Quiet nods from old Mr. Harlan on the walking path, Chloe tending forbidden flowers, the Marine vet finally giving me a half-hearted salute. Silence in Lake View became a kind of rebellion. It all came to a head one rainy night. Veronica blocked my truck in the street, lights blazing, phone up and streaming. You're finished here, she shouted, calling in her muscle. I stepped out, showed my badge, let the body cam roll. Played back her own footage, her SUV ramming me, her own staged injury, her voice screaming for sympathy. For the first time, the crowd didn't shrink. They stepped out, listening. Mr. Harlan called out. We all saw enough, Veronica. The energy shifted. Neighbors, tired of being extras in her drama, finally became witnesses. Veronica cracked, rammed my truck again in front of everyone. And this time, when the cruisers rolled up, it was her hands behind her back, her voice echoing. I am the law here, as they led her away. The search warrants uncovered boxes of stolen electronics in the vacant house, HOA funds funneled through shell companies, and Derek and Carl singing to deputies about how Veronica staged everything from trash to damaged photos. The whole thing unraveled because, for once, people spoke up, a neighbor with a phone, a few folks with quiet courage, and a body cam that didn't blink. I watched from my porch as the blue and red lights finally faded, the rain slowing to a mist. Lakeview looked perfect again. Neat lawns, tidy mailboxes, everything back in its place. But the silence wasn't fear anymore. It was relief. Or maybe just the shock of freedom. But here's the thing. Power doesn't vanish just because you arrest one tyrant. There are always rules. Always someone waiting to use them against the next outsider. You can win the battle, but the war for justice in a place like this? That's a different fight. One that never quite ends. So, what do you think? Was I right to push back, or did I just stir up a nest best left alone? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me where you stand on HOAs, justice, and the lines between order and oppression. And hey, if you know someone living under the thumb of a bully with a bylaw book, share this story. Maybe it's the spark they need.